Mm. Nothing battles loneliness like a good cup of coffee. Hey guys, how's it going? So today we're going to talk about how do I deal with loneliness on the road. Actually, even just dealing with loneliness in general. So for the last 4 months, I have been traveling through Alberta and British Columbia and exploring the West. And I've been doing so alone. Now, I will admit there have been a few days that, yeah, I did feel lonely. And I do try to take that very serious with myself. I don't want to get into my head too much about it, but it is something that I believe can be managed when solo traveling. So now I'm just going to give you guys basically my tips and how I deal with loneliness. I got something in my eye. I did just wake up. Do I have enough light in here? Hold on. 1 second. Oh yeah, that's much better. Okay, back to the point. So for the most part, the times that I have felt lonely have been basically when I'm in real isolation. Not like parked somewhere and there's some people around or something like that. Those spots, I don't really feel it that much. You do sometimes feel it if you're really getting into your head about stuff, but honestly, I don't really have an issue with that. If I'm just around people, I'm okay. Maybe it's in my head that I'm like, if I needed to talk to someone out here or something, then there is people around and I could just go try to strike up a conversation, which I never do, but it's good to think about. If you haven't noticed, I'm a pretty big introvert, so being by myself comes naturally, of course. But that doesn't mean I don't get lonely. When I was parked out by Micah Dam and I was in that beautiful spot and I had no service, no connection, no nothing, and you're all by yourself, that can be hard, really hard. And I don't think anyone realizes how much you get into your head with that. And I could go deeper into that topic too, because I don't think that should be a thing. I think we should be able to go out there and be by ourselves for a few days without having any issues. But now in the 21st century, that we're all connected constantly, I think we've become accustomed to that, and it's just been kind of the way of life for the last 10 years. You've always been able to contact someone with a phone or something and talk to them no matter where you are. And if you remember that video, you can also remember me talking about getting Starlink while I was out there. And that's because that wasn't the only time that that happened. When I was on the Forestry Trunk Road, there's a lot of spots I wanted to stay at longer. But the fact that I didn't have service and the fact that it just didn't feel very fun being by yourself and not being able to talk to anyone or being able to research anything, just keep your mind busy with other stuff. When you have, like, yes, there is stuff you could go do. You could go do bushcraft or anything like that, or like little projects like that, or go paddleboarding. But it's a lot to try to keep busy all the time. I definitely prefer being connected and talking to people. Now that being said, when I'm out there with other people, I can leave my phone inside the camper and be outside talking with them. Like, when I'm around people, that's the people I want to talk to. I don't want to interrupt that and try to talk to other people that just aren't there. Okay, after that tough talk, let's get into what I do to try to mitigate loneliness. And my first thing is just keep busy in general. Um, like I was saying, go paddleboarding, go mountain biking, do some bushcraft, build a little cabin in the woods somewhere. Not too big. The government will get after you or something. But you get what I'm saying, like just a little thing, or just basically keep busy. That's probably the biggest thing you can do. The less time you're in your head thinking about everything, the better you are. Like, there's certain places in your mind that you've visited already, but you're revisiting them because you're alone and bored. Revisiting past memories is just overthinking. That's all it is. So when I'm usually out alone and by myself, the biggest thing I do in the summer is go paddleboarding. And in the winter, well, usually edit a video or listen to a book or something like that. Listening to a book's kind of hard because then I'm like running around doing something else. I've been trying to get into the idea of maybe actually getting some books and doing that, but yeah. And all these things are great and everything, but in the end, it's just it feels like you have to do one thing after another just to keep busy. Another great one, go for a walk. That'll keep you going. Nothing like beating yourself physically to keep your mental state at bay. Another thing I do is like research things to film. So like ideas of some adventures to go on that would be really interesting to film. Maybe figure out some hikes to do, mountain bike trails, or like just in general, just think of stuff that would be new and fresh to try and do. A lot of that I research on my laptop, and Starlink has been amazing for that because I can be out in these remote places and still research future projects like that. Before having Starlink, it was very hard for me to be out there for a long period of time because I felt like I was getting behind on what to film, because as soon as I got back into service, then I was sitting there and trying to figure out where to go. Where if I do have a connection, I can figure that out while I'm going, and then it just ends up being another little project to do. And back to talking about like going on walks and stuff. Physical activity is just great for the mind. So even doing a morning workout or going for a run, that's a great way to battle loneliness too. Or kill two birds with one stone. You could also go to a more popular hiking trail and actually just go hike it. Guaranteed someone's going to talk to you a little bit. So there's that too. I've definitely noticed that, and I've definitely chosen a lot more busier trails because of that. Just because I know there's going to be other people on there, and I kind of get my fix of socialization from that. It's also pretty easy to talk to someone when you're all doing the same type of thing, right? Now, probably one of my most go-to things to socialize is I just pick up the phone and call a friend or family, and that usually does it like perfectly. I feel so good after that. And being able to call and talk to someone, that's probably the best way to do it for like a quick fix on dealing with loneliness. And you're nurturing relationships, so that's good too. Even just texting someone, that can help. But I have to say a phone call is just a lot better. It's actually talking to someone, and you're not trying to think of writing out a scripted message, basically. And I know I've mentioned Starlink in here quite a few times, but I can't emphasize enough on how much that's made this more possible for me. Could I do it without Starlink? Yeah. Would I go to as many remote places for as long? Probably not. I probably would have left. There's been a few places now with Starlink, I have stayed there for like a week. And what has actually made me come back to civilization is because I need to dump my tanks, or I just need I just need supplies. Being able to stay connected and stay out in these places, it's like turning on easy mode, honestly. And as you can see, living in a truck camper like this, I like easy mode for van life. It's got running water and a toilet. We're good to go. So yeah, Starlink, after getting that, I was just like, okay, this is just a complete game changer. I can go out to these places and just stay so long. It's been amazing. Now, I think this one's kind of obvious, and I'm horrible for this. I just don't do this, to be honest. But I do know the benefit in this, and I do wish I could do this better. But it's put yourself out there and actually talk to people. How do I try to put myself out there? Well, it's kind of hilarious because I'll just go park somewhere that there's more people. It's difficult for me to walk up to someone and try to actually spark up a conversation. I've just always been like that. Now, a lot of times if someone comes and talks to me and makes an effort and we actually vibe, then I'm usually like super comfortable and I just want to hang out because I'm like, oh, someone to talk to. But but if I'm being honest, I've had a really hard time with going up and talking to people randomly. So I'm working on that. I can only hope to get better. And for my last one. And this one is probably the most unconventional way that you'd think, but it's talking to you guys. So I'll be on the trail, and I've seen you guys say this a lot, that I talk to you guys like you guys are there. It's because when I'm out there and I'm filming and I'm talking to the camera and everything, it does feel like I'm talking to you guys. It feels like, well, it feels like I'm talking to, I think at this point, just about 10,000 of you all at once. It's pretty cool. It's like, is it almost like journaling? I guess maybe a video journal? I don't know. A video journal you all get to read of my life. That has been the biggest game changer for dealing with loneliness, is just starting a vlog like this and actually talking with you guys. By the way, almost 10,000 subscribers. That's awesome. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate every last one of you. But I think that's going to be it for this video. I know it's short, but I hope this answered the question of if I get lonely on the road. And if it doesn't, well, I do get lonely on the road. It does happen. But I wouldn't say it's any more than you could get lonely inside a house, living by yourself, like I did before. Actually, if I'm being honest right now, I feel less lonely than I did before. Crazy how that can work. So I want to thank you all for watching. And if you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to like and subscribe. And I can't wait to take you with me on the next one. Seriously, all 10,000 of you with me up a mountain. Let's go. I'll talk to you guys later.